Cosmo and BuzzFeed have decided they have their new crusade. Their new crusade is Chip and Joanna Gaines. Does anybody know who these people? I don't watch Chip and Joanna Gaines. Do you guys watch Chip? Fixer Upper. Okay, so my wife, I'm sure, watches this show, right? This is the people who find houses and they fix them up, and the show is really, really popular. And they're very, very upset over at Cosmo because Chip and Joanna Gaines' pastor preaches that homosexuality is a sin. And then the subtitle, but do they agree? And the entire article is just about how terrible it is that they go to a church where the pastor thinks homosexuality is a sin. BuzzFeed had this mind-blowing scoop, a mind-blowing scoop. Their church, Antioch Community Church, is a non-denominational, evangelical, mission-based megachurch. And their pastor, Jimmy Siebert, who described the Gaineses as dear friends, takes a hard line against same-sex marriage and promotes converting LGBT people into being straight. When reached by phone, Antioch Community Church's communications director pointed me toward the church's website under beliefs, where it states, marriage is the uniting of one man and one woman in covenant commitment for a lifetime. So the media are going nuts. Oh my God, these Christians go to a church where they actually read the Bible. That's crazy. That's totally nuts. Now, for people who are unfamiliar with this little book called the Bible, it's not actually that warm toward homosexuality. Like, the pastor is doing something called reading. And in the Bible, it says that not homosexuality is a sin, but homosexual activity is a sin, to be more precise, because the Bible itself doesn't say anything about desire. It says stuff about behavior, right? So Leviticus twice condemns homosexual behavior. It says, you shall not lie with a male as with a woman is an abomination, Leviticus 18:22. It does something very similar in Leviticus 20:13. It actually prescribes the death penalty, right? In the New Testament, it says in Romans, because of this, God gave them over to shameful lusts. Even their women exchanged natural sexual relations for unnatural one. In the same way, the men also abandoned natural relations with women and were inflamed with lust for one another. Men committed shameful acts with other men and received in themselves the due penalty for their error. In Corinthians, same deal. Or do you not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived, neither the sexually immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor men who practice homosexuality, nor thieves, nor the greedy, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor swindlers will inherit the kingdom of God. Timothy says the same thing. The law is for people who are sexually immoral or who practice homosexuality or are slave traders, liars, promise breakers, etc., etc. By the way, that's not even touching the traditional biblical interpretations of the events in Sodom and Gomorrah. So the headline on all of this really should be, oh my God, somebody goes to a church where the pastors read the Bible. That should be the actual headline here. Now, the reason this is so stupid is there's no evidence whatsoever that the Gaines family has ever discriminated against a gay person. There's no evidence whatsoever that they mistreat gay people. There's no evidence whatsoever that they are even interested in doing any of those things. But for the left, the thought crime has been committed. If you believe in the Bible, that in and of itself is a thought crime. This is why same-sex marriage is used as a club to beat up churches. The same people who think you shouldn't be able to go to a church where people believe that homosexual activity is a sin, those people believe the state should come in and shut down the churches because the churches are preaching intolerance and hate. That's the end result of all of this. Here's the thing. I'm a religious Jew. I believe in the Old Testament, right? I believe in the Pentateuch. I believe in the Chumash, as we call it, or the Torah, right? I believe in the 5 books of Moses. That means that I personally believe that homosexual activity is a sin. Here's the beautiful thing about America. You don't have to care. You don't have to care what I think. You don't have to care whether I think it's a sin. What do you care? I think eating shellfish is a sin for Jews. I think lots of things are sins. The Bible is filled with sins. The Bible is filled with sins, and I take those sins seriously because I'm a religious Jew. You don't have to care. You don't believe in the Bible? Fine, good. I don't care. That's fine. You can think I'm an idiot. I can think you're a sinner, and we can all live happily together. But the minute that you start saying that my beliefs, based on a godly book, in my view, that makes me incapable of having a show about fixing up houses, now you're a fascist. Now you're being a fascist. And the left is being fascistic. This is being fascistic. I mean, this is religious thought crime. They're not, but they haven't even asked the Gaines whether they even agree with the pastor. And you'll notice the hypocrisy here, right? Barack Obama went to a church for 20 years, where the pastor didn't just preach about homosexual activity. The pastor said America should be damned. 9/11 was the chickens coming home to roost, and that America created AIDS to kill black people in Africa. Right? Obama went to that church for 20 years and then wrote his book, The Audacity of Hope, based on a lecture by that pastor. And the media said, whoa. How dare you attribute Jeremiah Wright's views to our beautiful, wonderful president, Barack Obama? How could you do such a thing? Religion is okay for the left so long as you ascribe to their belief system. But religion is very bad if you don't ascribe to their belief system. By the way, you'll never see anything similar like this if there's a Muslim person in public life, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he's a religious Muslim, you'll never see them ask Kareem Abdul. So, Kareem, what do you think about homosexual activity? Is it a sin or not? Right? They'll never ask a Muslim about this, right? They'll only do it with Christians because they must root out Christianity because Christianity makes them feel bad about themselves. And this is what it really comes down to. I don't have a duty to make you feel good about yourself. I don't have a duty to make you feel like a non-sinner if I think that you're committing a sin. I don't. That's not my duty. But you think the government has a duty to make me stop making you feel like a sinner. That's what people on the left believe. They believe that the government or the market, somebody has a duty to make me stop making you feel bad. Right? The only reason you're feeling bad right now is presumably because you take my opinion seriously. Well, if you don't take my opinion seriously, don't take it seriously. Who cares? Again, people on the left say terrible things about me all the time. People on the alt-right say terrible things about me all the time. I don't care. That's their prerogative. Welcome to America. But the left has to drum out of existence all possible dissent. And that's really disgusting. And that's really fascistic. It's really gross. So shame on BuzzFeed. Shame on Cosmo. Honest to goodness, people. I mean, there are a lot of people who believe in the Bible. And you want to know why Donald Trump won, really? The reason Donald Trump won is because the more you bully people who believe in the Bible into saying they're bad people who shouldn't be allowed to raise their kids as they see fit, they shouldn't be allowed to have TV shows, they shouldn't be allowed to have restaurants, they shouldn't be allowed to operate their businesses, they shouldn't be allowed to raise their children, the more people are going to tell y'all to go screw yourselves. And I'm not even, by the way, my position on same-sex marriage governmentally is the government shouldn't even be involved in the issue. But this pisses me off. It does, because you're saying that you get to rule me, you get to take away my career because of something I think that doesn't even manifest in behavior. It doesn't even manifest in me mistreating people. And that's absurd. That's thought crime.